Now on Nightside, the story of a Spokane man who barely survived the flames of the Oregon Road fire. He shares his story right from a hospital bed.
We are getting a break from the wet weather tonight, but how long will it last? I am tracking more showers in your Thursday forecast in your First Alert Outlook.
School is right around the corner, but some Spokane parents are still looking for solutions to make sure their kids get there safely. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. In less than a week, Peppersack Middle School will be opening its doors to new students. But for some parents, the beginning of the school year is bringing new concerns. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Natalie Grant. Kirsten has the night off. Some families say they've been told their kids will not be on a bus route this year, and now they're looking for safer options. Tonight on Nightside, Rania Kaur shares parents' concerns and what Spokane Public Schools says is the real issue.
Next week, Brittany Fitzgerald will be sending her child to the new Peppersack Middle School for the first time. But before the school bells ring, Fitzgerald is looking for a solution to get her kid there safely.
What are the concerns? What are the solutions for different situations? Are we going to open the doors early, or how are we going to manage those special circumstances?
Fitzgerald lives less than 2 miles away from Peppersack, and school officials have told her a bus route isn't an option. So she started a petition hoping to change that.
We have been told if there is room, they can join the bus stop that goes through the neighborhood.
In both route options the parents explored today, their students would be crossing 57th and Crestline, a busy intersection they say can be dangerous. At the times, their kids would be walking. That's why on Wednesday, concerned parents joined SPS officials to find the safest route.
They're going to walk the shortest path distance, and a lot of that, Crestline specifically, you would have to crisscross the road to get to the sidewalk.
In a statement to 4 News Now, Spokane Public Schools cited bus driver shortages as a part of the problem, writing in part, quote, "While our goal is to accommodate as many student riders as possible, any route changes are subject to a limited number of drivers and the need to maintain safe vehicle capacity." For fellow parent Carlos Castillo-Garso, SPS's response is frustrating.
SPS seems to mostly be throwing up their hands and saying there's nothing we can do, it's policy, or we don't have enough drivers, or we're getting a whole bunch of very confusing and contradictory excuses. At least that's how I feel about this issue.
I want my 6th grader to be safe, and not just my 6th grader, but every single 6th, 7th, and 8th grader that arrives at Peppersack.
In Spokane, Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Rania. In North Idaho, the remaining members of the West Bonner County School Board in Priest River will have to appoint 2 new members to their board. Yesterday, people voted to recall Chair Keith Rutledge and Vice Chair Susan Brown. The recall petition alleged the 2 that failed to uphold their oaths of office to improve the schools. Rutledge says that he wanted more financial accountability for the district, which is facing a major shortfall after voters rejected a levy last May. Well, Geisha Credit Union is now partnering with the Riverside School District by sponsoring the Riverside Rams' first high school football game of the season, which is coming up on Friday night. The credit union is holding a community event from 5 to 7 on Friday to collect donations for those who lost everything in the Spokane County fires. There will be free food, free entry to the game, and the first 1,000 people will get some swag. Now, they plan to match donations up to $100,000. Turning things over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker tonight. Chris, it definitely felt like some fall football weather out there today with those storms.
Yes, it did. In fact, take a look at our high temperatures across the region. You can tell who had more rain than others. It was only 51 at Lookout Pass, 55 in St. Mary's, in the 50s through North Idaho, 62 today in Spokane. But once we head west into Moses Lake and Ritzville, temperatures in the 70s, even 80 degrees in Moses Lake today. Here's a look at some of the rainfall totals over the last 48 hours. Little less than a ½ inch at the airport in Spokane. You may have had more at your house, but boy, the numbers jump from there. Coeur d'Alene over 1.25 inches, over 1 inch in Bonner's Ferry, almost 1.25 inches at Priest Lake, Deer Park, 1 inch and 4/10 plus also quite a bit of rain in Grand Coulee and over 1.5 inches at 9 Mile Falls. Well, we have dried out tonight across the region, still fairly overcast, and that will continue to be the case. However, we did have enough clearing at Coulee Dam for Nora Jen to capture this amazing picture of tonight's super blue moon. The second moon, full moon in the month is a blue moon, and it's a super moon too, and that's a super photo, Nora. Meanwhile, here's a look at your Thursday planner. The clouds will be increasing through the morning with a chance of showers as early as right before noon. More likely a little bit of light rain as we get into the early afternoon, but it won't be around for long. A high of 69, more than 10 degrees below average. I'll be back with your Labor Day weekend outlook in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Chris. With the college football season now underway, many schools like Washington State are struggling to keep up on the national stage when it comes to the bottom line. And that's had an impact on the team's ability to retain its players.
In your 5 years here, did you ever have anyone that reached out into your DMs or called you, or other schools, coaches? Did that ever happen?
Well, you can find out what current Washington State players had to say on name, image, and likeness tampering by watching our Alex Crescenti's full story. That's available right now on KXLY.com. Well, this rain and cold didn't keep people away from enjoying one of Spokane's tastiest events. The event was in full swing today with almost every type of food you can imagine. That's right. Pig Out in the Park is back with so many different options. It might seem nearly impossible to try them all. One man says he's come to Pig Out every year since 2004. And as a seasoned veteran, he has a game plan when it comes to the 6-day food feast.
When I'm working, yeah, I do come out here every day. But I basically, my strategy is to make sure that I consume all the foods that I've been craving for a while, and then just find out where those are and beeline straight to that first.
Definitely a good plan. Well, Richard says the cold doesn't bother him because Pig Out is an excellent event no matter the weather. Well, check this out. Speaking of unexpected foods, there was an unexpected customer at a candy store near Ocean Shores near Olympia. Security footage is showing this deer slowly walking through just the open front door, perusing the aisles a bit before going out the same way here. Maybe just looking, or maybe not. It looks like he may have taken a piece of taffy, all without dropping so much as a buck at the register. Well, fire watch coverage tonight, the state of the fire near Orofino, Idaho, and the struggles that homeowners in Medical Lake are facing as they work to rebuild. We'll have that coming up next.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app. Watch Here to Help, a 4 News Now special event tomorrow at 6.
This summer, happiness is a new Chevy. You can go farther, tow more, and bring along everyone you love. Your road to happiness begins in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT Turbo Max pickups, or get $6,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Local communities devastated by wildfires.
The danger is past, and now rebuilding begins.
4 News Now connects you to the people and organizations making a difference. Watch Here to Help, a 4 News Now special event tomorrow at 6.
This is your summer to smile, to raise your glass and reconnect, to reel in the fun and serve up great times. To help you get ready, your Aspen Dental team is celebrating 25 years of affordable care with an epic Summer of Smiles event. Right now, new patients without insurance get a free full exam and x-rays. Plus, everyone can get 20% off their treatment plan. But hurry, because while these summer savings won't last, the memories you make together will. Aspen Dental. Book today.
Pop the champagne, humanity. We've done it.
Celebrate your night with big winners, shocking thrills, and living legends.
You know, I've always thought of you as Dave Jr.
Every hair on my body is standing up right now.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
ABC's World News Tonight at 4 News Now.
The team you trust here at home.
Across the nation and the world.
When you need information fast, a huge break in this case.
When the local story is national news. Chilling new details tonight about those 4 college students.
When national stories hit home.
Finding affordable housing in the Inland Northwest is now more difficult than ever.
Watch ABC World News Tonight at 5:30.
And 4 News Now at 6 with Kirsten O'Connor. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
4 News Now is brought to you by Global Credit Union.
In our Fire Watch coverage tonight, the rain in Orofino, Idaho helped firefighters gain control of the hospital fire, but not before 6 homes and other outbuildings were destroyed in the 50 acres that burned starting yesterday afternoon. Crews are now tightening those perimeter lines and starting to mop up there. Cause the fire is still under investigation. In North Spokane County, all of the animals and livestock sheltered at the fairgrounds because of the Oregon Road fire have now been returned to their owners or placed with foster families. Firefighters are now working to improve that containment line, and the immediate danger is now over. A Spokane man who barely survived the flames of the Oregon Road fire is now sharing his story of his narrow escape, including the moment he says he watched his skin melt. Justin Knutson, who you see here, is from Elk and is a veteran who has been through war in Afghanistan, but says that he has never faced something as challenging as running through the smoke and flames to find help from a stranger. Now, in this video that was distributed by UW Medicine, Justin says that he went back into the fire to see if his neighbors were all right when his truck then broke down and left him with no other option than to run, screaming to keep the smoke out of his lungs. Now, eventually he heard a faint honking noise and ran towards it. He then saw headlights and jumped into the car of his savior.
If it weren't for her, I'm pretty sure another 5 seconds and I would have been gone. At this point I was watching my skin drip off, like drip off. It was my skin was melting. And I was watching it drip off my arms. I was watching it drip off my legs. And I had noticed a big chunk was falling off of my face. And so I hopped in her car and I just repeatedly kept telling her that I loved her. I love you, I love you, I love you.
That woman then drove him to safety, where people were able to douse Justin with water and give him the medical attention he desperately needed. Now, Justin was then transported to Harborview Hospital in Seattle, where he still is today. Now, he is expected to make a full recovery and return home to his family. Medical Lake homeowners whose homes were spared by the Gray Fire are now dealing with smoke damage. Medical Lake resident Annette Picca-Vavold was fortunate enough to return to her house with her pets, but smoke damage quickly became a concern.
And learning how toxic it is, because it's not just a tree that's burning down, it's a house and it's chemicals and it's cars and plastic and the chemicals and the smell, and it just doesn't come out.
The local restoration company Burke's Restoration says that it's important to check your home, even if it may look fine to live in, because contaminants, embers, and dust could get into places like your garage. Burke says that if you want to start on your own, you could rent an air scrubber from a disaster and restoration company. They also warn people to not fall for restoration scams and to not sign anything or put down deposits before you talk to your insurance company. And while the threat of the Gray and Oregon Road fires may have passed, the effects of these fires will be felt for months, even years, for many families. We know many of you want to help, but many of us can't afford to donate hundreds of dollars to help those who have lost everything. That's why all day Thursday, tomorrow, on TV, online, and on the radio, 4 News Now will be sharing little things that you can do that go a long way. It's all a part of our Here to Help special, airing all day long tomorrow.
Your forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, 51 for an overnight low. It's going to be a cool start to the day tomorrow. Open up those windows, but you might wake up with a chill. 69 for a high tomorrow with light midday showers, just a sprinkle or two. I'll show you the computer model in just a moment. Southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Big picture, we have one area of low pressure that brought the rain today zipping off to the east. Another one on Thursday. The that's going to keep things cool. Temperatures more than 10 degrees below average and bring another round of very, very light rain before it sinks off to the south, leaving us dry for Friday and at least the start of the Labor Day weekend. Meanwhile, here's a look at our forecast radar starting off early Thursday morning, and we just start to see some very light rain around the Spokane area up towards Sandpoint around 1 o'clock. It should not amount to much. Rainfall totals less than 1/10 of an inch in almost all locations. Still a little bit of light precipitation over the Palouse in the evening, potentially into the central panhandle, and then we start drying out for a nice Friday. Overnight lows tonight will be down in the 40s and 50s around the region. High temperatures tomorrow only in the 60s for a good portion of the area. A few 70s on the map, including 79 in Lewiston. 80 on Friday with partly cloudy skies. Saturday looks like the best day of the Labor Day weekend if you want to have a weekend day at the lake or be outside enjoying some summer fun. Then it's a little bit cooler with a slight chance of showers on Sunday. A little bit better chance of rain on Labor Day, but we're going to be fine-tuning this forecast very closely over the coming days, and we'll keep you updated on that as the weekend approaches. I'll be back with some Wildlife Wednesday photos.
All right, thanks, Chris. And it's something you really only see once in a blue moon. And you have the chance to see the super blue moon tonight, as Chris showed us not too long ago. The moon is bigger and brighter than usual, and it'll be closer to Earth than at any other time this year. And as we saw, it's already in our area. And someone who is probably taking a look at that blue moon tonight is an astronomy enthusiast who has garnered quite a following on TikTok and really knows how to draw a crowd. Danny New shares his story.
The now viral video of dozens of Brooklynites all in line to use an 82-year-old man's telescope.
It was almost like everyone collectively agreed, this is what we're doing now.
Daphne was one of many seeing the band Always at Prospect Park Thursday night. But afterwards, concertgoers were suddenly drawn to the mysterious amateur astronomer set up in the median of 9th Street.
It was a moment, and it was beautiful.
Within a few days, the video exploded to 5 million views on TikTok with comments like, "This is how I wish the world was all the time."
I love to see people's reactions.
Well, as the man of the hour, Joe Delfos, will tell you, he's not much of a social media guy, but whether in person or online, he just loves spreading his love of science.
And at first they don't see anything. And then you can see this huge smile appear on their face.
Words and ideas can change the world.
It probably wouldn't surprise you to learn Joe was a teacher for many years, but around the early 90s, he bought a telescope and got very into astronomy. And then, around 2004, he started setting up shop every summer to show people things like the planet Saturn, one of the many objects you can actually see with all the light pollution in New York.
Did you, cut it off at some point, or did everyone in line get to look through the telescope?
I didn't leave until the line went down to zero.
And while maybe Joe didn't realize how famous he was going to become,
anybody can do what I did.
He was very excited to finally get to thank Daphne for sharing the video and his passion with the world.
Hurricane Idalia is making its way through the Carolinas, but not before leaving a trail of damage throughout Florida. We're taking a look at the damage it's left so far, coming up next on Nightside.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Cornhole at the Spokane Fair just keeps growing. 10 full days of cornhole at the 2023 Spokane County Interstate Fair. Anyone can play. Anyone can win. We'll see you at the 2023 Spokane Fair.
Who is Culligan? Your local water experts since 1936. The world's most efficient water softener. Safer drinking water in every glass. Convenient, reliable delivery. Industry-leading technology. Here for every water worry.
Set summer in motion with the most fun-to-drive Honda vehicles yet. Like the Civic, a vehicle car and driver called more fun to drive than the competition. And the HR-V, with sleek exterior styling and smooth, responsive handling. This summer, chase fun in the sun with Honda, the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
What did you draw?
You wouldn't do that. So why do you do this? Distracted driving kills an average of 9 people and injures over 1,000 every day in America. Put down your phone. Lives depend on it. Don't drive intoxicated. Don't drive intoxicated. A sobering message from AAA.
Beat the heat. Always water before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m.
3 weeks after the deadly Maui wildfires destroyed the historic town of Lahaina, officials are declaring their search and recovery mission nearly complete. 115 people were killed in these fires, and almost 400 people are still missing. Recovery efforts are continuing in the ocean, but no human remains have been found by crews. As the people of Hawaii continue to mourn the catastrophic death and destruction, President Biden announcing $95 million from the bipartisan infrastructure law to help prevent future wildfires.
Directed my team to do everything we can for as long as it takes to help Maui recover, rebuild in a way that respects and honors Hawaiian traditions and cultures and the needs of the local community.
Now, Hawaiian officials say that the next phase is working with the EPA for hazardous waste removal. Once the area is deemed safe, families will begin to return to what's left of their community. Meanwhile, a new natural disaster has emerged. Tonight, Hurricane Idalia is making its way through the Carolinas, but not before leaving a trail of damage throughout Florida. Here's ABC with more.
Hurricane Idalia leaving a path of destruction all across the southeast. A powerful hurricane making landfall as a Category 3 storm around 7:45 Wednesday morning with sustained winds near 125 miles per hour. It weakened throughout the day and is now a tropical storm as it moved through Georgia and the Carolinas. In Georgia, rain totals in excess of 7 inches in some parts with wind gusts nearing 70 miles per hour. And in South Carolina, that car's flying! An apparent tornado flipping this car outside Charleston, with storm surges there reaching up to 9 feet with high tide, flooding downtown. Meanwhile, in Florida, residents there are dealing with Idalia's path of destruction. The storm's eye wall slamming the shoreline in Perry. High winds snapping trees, uprooting stop signs, and even tearing apart this McDonald's Golden Arches sign.
It's starting to circulate around, and when that rain hits you, I mean, it's like nails right to the face.
On Cedar Key, record-breaking storm surge, nearly 7 feet of water. And this drone footage showing widespread flooding in Crystal River. In Pasco County, north of Tampa, the sheriff's office helping rescue dozens of people and pets from flooded neighborhoods. This massive tree landing on the governor's mansion, hundreds of thousands losing power. President Biden pledging federal support to the region.
If there's anything the states need right now, I'm ready to mobilize that support of what they need.
Tampa International Airport has opened for arrivals only, but officials say full operations should begin on Thursday morning. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Tampa.
Terrible, terrible scenes. Well, switching gears, it's time for some Wildlife Wednesday and some hints of fall in this week's submissions. First of all, the kokanee spawn is on and the osprey are on it. They have been feasting in North Idaho lakes. This is an incredible picture from Marty Stowe. Osprey with a big old kokanee ready to dine. They are busy taking advantage of that. Carol Sales Ridbaum shared this sweet photo of a buck at the shores at Priest Lake, enjoying some tender bites there before the leaves fall. Gorgeous photo from Shannon Verity of a doe and her 2 fawns near Tico, out in the high grass and brush. And Carol Ellis spotted this moose at her yard in Meade. I received a few pictures this week of folks who found animals at their property that were displaced by the area fires. She thinks this moose might have wandered into Meade after the fire up in Elk. She called him Bullwinkle, and he was dining on apples, and then he moved on, big old bull moose. And finally, from Dora Z. Davis, this squirrel. Now, Natalie and I thought it looked like he might be sneezing. Dora thought he might have his fingers crossed and his eyes closed, hoping that there were some peanuts in his dish. Evidently, she feeds this little darling. He's walking like a human, which is a little odd. What do you think, Natalie?
Definitely cute, for sure. But yeah, it's sneezing. But now that you said that with his fingers crossed,
yes,
I can see it.
I hope Dora has the peanuts for me.
I know. It's so cute. Very cute. Great zoom in on that photo too. So detailed. Wonderful. Thanks, Chris. In the University of Idaho student murders, a hearing on whether cameras should be allowed to film the quadruple murder suspect will be taking place this Friday. In a new filing, suspect Brian Kohberger's attorney accused media organizations of violating the judge's order not to focus solely on their client, saying images of Kohberger in pretrial hearings will taint the jury pool. Attorneys for the Media Coalition filed a motion to intervene today, asking the group's voice to be heard in arguing against the motion. Now, 4 News Now is a part of that media coalition. Kohberger is accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in a shared off-campus home last November. Well, Washington State football is getting ready to hit the road. The Cougars open the season on Saturday. Our sports team is taking a look at the matchup against Colorado State in this week's Cougar Chalk Talk, coming up next.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. 4 News Now. Expect more on air, online, and on the app.
So many people have followed this story for so long, and this is the first time that Peyton Leitner is talking. Do you remember leaving the park to go to the woods?
This is the most unbelievable story I've ever heard. Who the heck is Slender Man?
The suspects lured the victim into the woods. With the students.
If she saw this, what would you want to say to her?
Ooh. Friday, the David Muir 2-hour 2020 event at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Send them back to school looking and seeing their best. Get premium eyewear and A+ patient care from the experienced team at Shopko Optical. Cross off eye exams on your back-to-school checklist. Schedule their comprehensive exam today.
Summer might not be a vacation for families experiencing homelessness, but while Family Promise teaches parents life skills, kids have the chance to explore and have fun.
Without the routine of school, summer is really challenging for homeless children. With the help of Numerica, kids are able to enjoy lots of fun activities.
Numerica Credit Union is honored to partner with organizations like Family Promise as they work to enhance lives, fulfill dreams, and build communities.
Check out more organizations that make our community stronger at numericacu.com.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
Washington State football just wrapped up its final open practice before the season opener against Colorado State. Starting now and every week through the rest of the football season, we'll be giving you a different take on this Washington State team, the good, the bad, and everything in between in a segment we like to call Cougar Chalk Talk. This week, Alex Crescenti breaks down the Cougars matchup against Colorado State.
Washington State fans will remember Colorado State for two reasons. If you're my age or older, the 2013 New Mexico Bowl collapse that we don't talk about. But if you're of the younger generation, you recall the throttling the Cougs laid on the Rams less than a year ago. And if Wazoo wants the same result, there is one side of the ball that needs to show up on Saturday. Sure, a 38-7 win is nice, but that was in 2022, a whole season ago.
You know, we've been talking about on our end is that we're a completely different team, you know, so I think, yeah, you rely on experiences from last year, but you got to wash that away.
Washington State came out of the gates at light speed last year, scoring touchdowns on their first 4 drives and put the game out of reach by halftime. But after the break, the team scored just 10 points in the final 2 quarters, with the offense disappearing, which seemed like a common trend for the whole season.
The last 3 years I've been here, we've always oozed into game 1, and I think that kind of trickles down to the next upcoming games, and it's like week 1 is you know, a testament of what you've done since January.
We know the defense is going to be fine. There's enough talent and experience on that side to carry the team. The key for the Cougs, not only for Colorado State, but the rest of the year, is the offense. They need to be scoring early and often throughout the games and putting together 60 minutes of solid football. They do that, and anything may be possible.
So it's really all about putting together come game 1. We got to start fast, finish fast, and, you know, we do our things, we execute, we control. I feel like we're going to have a good game.
You know, we're really familiar with this game plan. We love it. We're not changing anything for these guys. You know, we're going to go out there and execute and play our brand of football and, you know, put our face on other people, and, you know, we'll see what the score is at the end of the day.
And the Cougars and Rams kick off at 4 o'clock on Saturday. In Pullman, Julian Minnesone, 4 News Now Sports.
Well, thank you, Julian and Alex. Washington State released its jersey combination for its first game of the season. The Cougars will be wearing their white jersey with crimson pants and helmets. It'll be the first time Washington State has worn this combination since 2020. Now, once again, kickoff between Washington State and Colorado State is at 4 o'clock on Saturday from Fort Collins, Colorado. And speaking of football, high school football kicks off on Friday. The Idaho schools began their seasons last week. The Washington State schools open their season this week, and that means the return of Friday Night Sports Extra. And we'll have all those highlights and top plays from across the Inland Northwest every Friday right here on Nightside at 11. We'll be right back after the break.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
Buy more, save more during the 4-day Super Labor Day sale at Furniture Row. That's 4 amazing days to get $100 off every $1,000 you spend. With the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed, it's the perfect time to refresh your living room, dining room, bedroom, or fall into a new mattress. Check out special purchases and doorbusters while they last. Plus, 6 years, no interest financing. But hurry, the 4-day Super Labor Day sale at Furniture Row ends Monday.
Hepatitis C? Don't just treat it. Crush it with Mavorite.
Conquer it with Mavorite.
Cure it with Mavorite. Mavorite cures all types of Hep C.
In only 8 weeks.
The virus multiplies daily and can damage the liver over time. Mavorite stops Hep C and cures it. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had Hep B, a liver or kidney transplant, other liver problems, HIV, other medical conditions, and all your medicines. Do not take Mavorite with atazanavir or rifampin. Report right away yellow skin, stomach pain or swelling, confusion and bleeding or bruising.
Hep C? Crush it with Mavorite.
Conquer it with Mavorite.
Cure it in only 8 weeks. See Hep C gone with Mavorite.
Ask your doctor about Mavorite. AbbVie could help you save.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
Drinking watermelon moonshine.
Oh, Lord,
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
A little bit of light rain tomorrow, a high of only 69 degrees, but then we're in the 70s and 80s through the rest of the 7-day forecast, but just barely on Labor Day. And I'm working hard on that forecast, hoping that we can remove those showers.
Yeah, but hey, 70s are nice to get outside and enjoy it, right?
Yes, a lot of kids, this is their last hurrah back to school. Some already back to school.
Exactly.
So.
Thanks for joining us on Nightside. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.